There? We're there. Hello. Oh, well, hello and welcome.
Hey guys,
We're
welcome.
live. We are the Unscripted All Talk podcast.
Yes, we are.
We are 7 real New Yorkers with real talk on a variety of topics and lots of talkative opinions about things. I am your moderator, Tina Noach. Think of me as Jay Leno without the jaw. I'm pretty sure he has worn a dress.
There you go.
And I like cars. We have, let's see, today we are Brittany Alexandra.
Hi guys.
We are Jen Hernandez.
Your realtor
Here.
Shout outs to all of us that are not here. We have Sam Legacy at the board. Moeta. We have Chief Choco Poppy acting as producer today,
Also known as Joshua.
also known as Yeshua, also known as
Yeah.
Choco Pops. We also have DJ MVP, GQ Win. I believe that's everyone. And we have 2 very special guests.
Yes.
So we have Ava and Ashley with us here today.
Hello. Welcome, ladies.
Before we get into our topic, we ask you to find us at unscriptedentertainment.com. Take a moment, hit the like button, subscribe to us, then we will come back to you again. And if you are up for it, at about the 30-minute point, we're going to be doing news. So you can either stick with us to then or fast forward, whatever your pleasure is. Our topic today is red flags in relationships. And we happen to be an all-female panel today as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't mean we are offering the opinions of all females. We just happen to be females with opinions.
Just a few. Just a few chicks.
Lots of opinions.
Over here.
Right?
Yes.
Excited.
So that being said, we talk about red flags and relationships as far as that goes.
Right.
We are kind of a broad representation as far as I know from our history that Jen is married.
I'm married. I'm locked in.
What?
Over for me.
Brittany,
Hi,
over
honey.
I know you're watching.
Watching.
Brittany, don't worry about it. Alexandra, thank you.
So as far as relationships, that's pretty broad. So
What about you, ladies? Are you guys single or in relationships?
I've been in a relationship for 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Mhm.
Okay, good
Yeah.
job. Yay.
Give it up.
What about you, Ashley?
I'm in a serious relationship with my boyfriend Mike, and we're
How
doing
long?
good. It's been more recent, but it is like more serious.
Yay. Awesome.
Hey,
Okay,
Mike,
congrats.
welcome on board.
Hi, Mike.
We're glad
I know
here.
you're watching.
I know you're.
He's like, I'm a
Make sure you say you're in a relationship. Tina?
Yes. So anyway, when we say red flags,
Tina, are you
When
single or are you married?
oh no, Tina is not married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
accepting
Tina.
applications? Tina is accepting
no.
applications.
Oh my god.
I am accepting applications.
Tina
Yes.
time.
I like that.
Just like Target, you know, there's a kiosk set up, and if you'd like to provide, no. No. It's quite the opposite.
If you'd like to provide us with your W-2, that would be great. Thank you. A lot.
Very much.
I got you.
So Tina could be playing the field.
Ooh.
But Tina is kind of slow to the punch with things, truthfully. So when I hear red flags, my mind goes straight to the sequence of bad dating experiences that I have had that actually wind up being kind of funny. Because you're like, oh, I'm in the bathroom and I'm at a table with someone and I just, you know what? I'm out. So I've heard that happens. I've never actually done that, but people like just take off in the middle of the bad date. So that's what I think of when I hear red flags. I'm curious from your guys' perspective. Like,
Brittany, you want to start? You weren't here last.
Oh, sure. Okay, so this kind of goes in a few places. So when you think of like a red flag, right? You think of this person is doing something that I don't agree with or don't like, or is it that works for this person, doesn't work for me, right? So there's no right or wrong how people act, but there are certain things that you are not going to feel comfortable with. So like obviously you guys are all in relationships, but before that relationship, you were probably previously involved with someone that you're like, I don't really, this is not
Not
good.
gonna work,
Like
yeah.
this person's yelling at me. I've expressed multiple times that you know, if someone gets upset with me and they curse or say a curse word, that is not something that I feel comfortable with, and they continue to do it. Like, that's a huge red flag, and you should run away, right?
Yep.
So I just feel like it varies in different levels of like what a red flag is. Like, it could be very like in the beginning, like you're sitting down on a first date, they don't open the door for you. Like, will I say that's a huge red flag? No, but it's kind of like, are you courteous? It's like, if you're not courteous with me, then are you courteous with other people? Like, so I just feel like the red flags vary. It can't be just like, there's a red flag list, and if you check this, whatever. I feel like it depends also on the person.
Yeah.
Also, experience has a lot to do with that. So, like what you said, like if you're on a date with somebody new and you're like, all right, this person did this, or like was aggressive in this kind of way, or anything that you're like, okay, I felt like shitty before. Are we at 5 minutes? Doesn't really matter. But anyway, if you felt a way, like when someone does something and you're like, okay, I've felt this before, that's a red flag. Like, I know in my gut, like a female's intuition, I'm sorry, is always right. Like, that's just how it is in life. I don't know if you guys know that. When you feel something, like you need to listen in your gut. It's like, this is not it, right?
Yep.
So I just feel like red flags vary. I don't know
To
if
a
you guys
personal
experienced
level,
that,
yeah.
like before you were like in these relationships, like, I don't know, even if you meet a guy out, like the way that they're acting, like how they ask for your number, like there's a way to do things. I feel like there's less green flags when you're like not in somebody, you're like, okay, no, this is a 0, this is no, it's not working, this is beyond the red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it varies.
What about you girls? What do you think when you hear red flags?
It's funny because for a little while, like back on TikTok, it was a trend.
It was.
And
It was.
it was either that there was the girl and she would be like laying on the beach, like videoing her boyfriend, and it was almost like a silly red flag, like, he didn't call me princess or something. And then there's like the serious red flags, like that you almost have from your previous relationships that you think about. So yeah, I think there's 2 different types of red flags. Like, there's the red flags that like, okay, like my red flag right now would be like, oh, that like I'm very fast paced and my boyfriend's super laid back. And then, then there's like the red flags I have like from like past relationships that I don't see in him. So there's definitely 2 sides to that whole red flag like perspective almost. Yeah, like your past demons and then your present like silly things almost. That I'm sure you see that as like being married.
Yeah, definitely. Thank God I don't have to deal with them anymore. But I'll tell you what, if I ever see my husband covering up his phone, using a code for his phone, or leaving the bedroom to answer a phone call.
What about this? When you're out to dinner, or
hell
if you're somewhere and the phone is face down.
Red flag immediately catches my attention.
Yeah.
And I will bring him to the
100%.
Phones down.
Let's go.
I mean, like the phone.
On the table?
It's not the worst thing, but like I
do that out of habit to not look at my phone.
Same.
Like,
I would
if
just
I'm
put it
out
in another
to
room.
dinner, I put my phone down on the side of the table to
like,
not
oh,
look
you
at
want
it.
my attention.
Like, and I kind of
Yeah.
want the same thing. Or like the phone's away. Like, I don't really
Yeah,
like
Phones
phone
away.
being away is for
Especially
sure.
like growing up too. Like, we were never allowed like phones at the dinner table. So like to go
Right.
out at restaurants, that 1 minute where like you actually are sitting there with somebody, like I do put my phone down. But I could see how
like putting
people, I have heard people say that's a red flag.
because of the shady aspect of like what people are, how they're texting, what they're doing. Like, you don't
You
really
know what I've seen though? Do not disturb.
Love that.
Love it.
No one talk to me.
Both ways, because sometimes I have it on, but like certain people, like I've heard my friends say that like they'll hang out with guys and their phone will be on Do Not Disturb the entire time they're around.
That is wow.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Wow.
so sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard this.
I mean, okay. I mean, you don't want your phone to like be ringing. Like if I'm here, I'm chilling, whatever. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I'm like in the zone. I'm talking to you, whatever. When I teach class, when I'm training, like your phone is
Yeah, but think
on
of
Do Not
it.
Disturb.
But all the time.
Think about it in the
I don't
other
want
way
anyone to
where
talk to
someone
me.
is hiding something.
Right.
Yeah, or
Where
something.
my wife
Right.
is going to call me while I'm on a date with this girl, so I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So
Yeah.
that my
So my wife can't
Right.
Yeah.
Shady.
To sort of go back to Ashley, if you could also speak to, like, do you have
I
what
am.
would be a red flag right now as far as the way that Ava is going to describe? Like, what are red flags for you right now?
I think communication is a huge red flag with people. Like not being able to like have a conversation or just like shutting down when anything or like issues arise. And not even just like intimate relationships, friendships, like family relationships, all of it. Like that's what comes to my mind when like red flags come up is just like communication for sure, like with everyone.
But what if they
That's
just
fair.
don't know, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're under 30, yeah?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're, for example, you and your boyfriend, like, sometimes at that age, like, I don't know if my boyfriend, when I was, like, 28, knew how to communicate. And, like, I'm not saying that it was, like, validated. I'm just saying, like, based on how he grew up, there's no way he was going to know how to communicate properly. I feel like the communication is kind of hard. I feel like
It's hard to find at a young age.
yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I would say like more of a red flag on what you're talking about is like if you're trying to talk to him and he's like, get out of here, get out of my face, and like pushing you. Like that to me, like that's a real, I don't know, to me,
Yeah.
that's like a
I
red
just
flag.
wanna offer-
Not necessarily how he's like kind of shutting down. That's how he's communicating. He's like, I can't even talk. Like, I don't know how to like speak my
Right. No, you're
my
right. So,
opinion.
like,
You know what I'm saying?
being destructive that way is
Right, like that would be a red flag to
Yeah.
me. Him like, oh, I need a minute, and like quiet and like whatever. I'd be like, all right, that's how you're like taking your time to then hopefully come back and communicate with me. I feel like any type of like everyone communicates differently though, so like that's something to like talk about in the very beginning. Like, are you the kind of person that you need 5 minutes away and then you're ready to talk? Or are you the person that like goes to bed angry? Like I could never be with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
I think on some level it's that when you're younger, you don't really know how you personally communicate. But I just wanted to offer what you were saying before. I don't think that age guarantees the ability to communicate.
Right.
I don't think we all
True.
can start. There are plenty of
No,
people
not
that
at
live
all.
a full, glamorous life and never
Yeah.
learn how to
That's true. It
communicate.
also
Yes.
depends on when we start working on ourselves.
Right.
Because of our past trauma, everyone has something going on. And if you don't work on yourself, you're not going to have that clean communication, what your boundaries are, what your red flags are, and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
if you can't self-evaluate yourself, then how are you going to be able to communicate with somebody else? and
Exactly.
have a mutual, sharing. And
I just want to eat pizza and watch TV.
oh my god.
Sorry, it just felt so heavy, and the guys aren't here, so I thought I'd offer you an alternate opinion.
I feel like I just thought about something like a red flag to me.
It's Christina.
It is Christina. Christina's a red flag. No, I think one. I just thought about this is like completely separate, but like a red flag to me is like when someone is all talk. Like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I have this. I want to do this. I'm like, I've literally like
And they're a
experienced
couch
someone who's
potato.
like older than me, like 39 years old. Like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to go and be like a registered dietitian. I'm like, that's like 3 years of school. Like, what's stopping you, right? Like, I just came out of nowhere, but like, what's been stopping you this entire time? Like, you're literally telling me you've been doing A, B, and C. You've had your, like, if you can't make it happen for yourself, how are you gonna make it happen for somebody else? And then talking about like kids, like you want all these things, but like how are they gonna eat? I don't understand. What are you talking about?
He's going to put them on the diet,
I'm
I'll
just
tell
like-
you that.
They're not gonna eat.
Good.
I don't
Like,
know.
can't
Like I
cook
just feel like
pizza.
when you're all talk and you're just trying to like paint a beautiful picture and the red carpet and you are lying.
Yeah, I've
And
met
you
guys
live at
like
home with your
that,
parents,
yes.
so
I've met guys like that,
just saying,
definitely.
I'm just like that.
Someone that's
But
a
then-
go-getter that's the most attractive thing ever, and they do
Ambitious.
it, and they
Oh.
do it.
Interesting.
That's
A
what
man
I
of their
think.
word.
Rich.
A man of
I
their
like
word.
Yeah, but where do we find the
Not
rich
rich.
men?
What'd you write?
That's
What'd you
the
write?
problem.
Rich.
Wait, what did he write?
He said date rich.
Unless it's a guy I don't know, I'm gonna offer
From
that.
what I've experienced, the richer the man, the worse they are.
Well,
Not you,
yes.
Josh. Not you.
Yes.
Not
Wait,
you.
what is that? What is the
Yes.
bottom?
Not you, honey.
Absolutely.
You're working on yourself.
Yeah.
Let me see.
$49.99 a month, I got you.
To be clear, we're communicating with
Well,
Choco Poppy,
yeah.
our resident
My high
entrepreneur.
school.
What was the
who-
website? I didn't get to see it. Where do we find the rich men?
SugarDaddy.com. Excellent.
Sign up to my website and I got you for $49.99. I got the plug. All
Jesus
shapes, colors,
fucking.
sizes. I got you.
Oh
That's-
my
He's
god.
good at business. Yeah, maybe. I mean, after my Target kiosk, I might,
You might want to move up to Tarjay instead of
Yeah,
Target.
but okay, but yes or no, you want someone that's like got their shit together.
Yes.
Okay.
I want someone who cares about having their shit together.
Yes.
For me, it's more of that as far as like they have the drive or the ambition, but they're not
working to get
crazy
there.
about that end result.
Let me tell you, I met my husband. We were both very low in our lives, low point
What?
in our lives.
Oh,
I know, I
low
said
point.
it.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I was like,
Low.
what?
Yeah.
I'm like, scary.
We were both in low points in our lives, and we have been together, 10 years now, and we have been able to create up words. We've been working on each other, and we know how to communicate. We know how we work together and how each other works. And that's how it should be, a relationship where you both work together and you go up there, go to, to the highest level that you want to go, instead of already looking for someone that's already up there while you're down here. How are you gonna jump?
Right.
But that's
Not always. I don't know if I would agree with that. Only because I feel like sometimes when you are in an environment with people who are kind of like above you, instead of you rise to meet that.
Yeah,
Like
that's kinda
my biggest problem, like sometimes with guys, is like everyone's like, yeah, I want this kind of shorty. What is your vision, right? So you need someone you need a man that's gonna lead you.
yes.
If you have no vision, where the fuck are we going? Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? And I just feel like a lot of times, like, men have a tendency, I should say, and not all men, before all y'all start to come
Yeah,
at
we're
me.
doing that.
Not all men. I'm just saying, like, some are like, yeah, I want somebody like this. Like, if you want your mom, go back to her house. I'm sorry. No, but I'm sorry. Like, you
Be a
need
mama's
to be
boy,
able,
go.
but you need to be able to clean a dish. Like, that's just how it is. Like,
Yeah.
you need to be able to do certain things. Like, I agree with I'm not saying like 50-50, like, whatever, like in the house. Like, I just believe that I could use a little help sometimes. If I'm in the house, I'm doing this, I'm cleaning. You could say, babe, you want to do this? You want to wipe this down? You can volunteer something. You sitting on your ass with your feet up?
Yeah, never.
And you're not working that hard?
Never.
Boy. Please.
That's true. You could just hire a maid.
You could,
White
yes. And if
stigma
you
at
are
that point.
financially stable to hire a maid, sure. Yes. But what if your maid has something to do that day?
Yeah.
What if she has a flat tire?
So just
You're not going to do
people-
your dishes?
I
You're
don't
not going
want-
to clean?
I don't
No.
want my maid there on Sunday morning when I'm making breakfast. Like, I want the two
You
of us to
hire
be
her
able to
sister.
handle
Okay,
things.
great. So the maid and her
Josh
sister.
is dying right now off camera.
He's having a great time, honestly. But like, you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what other red flag do we have? Last week we talked about cheating. Once a partner cheats, they usually cheat again.
Cheater for life was, the argument was not the case.
Right.
You can reform yourself if you
You can reform yourself.
You know what's a red flag when you there's so many in my mind. That's so
I
crazy.
want everyone. I have a hot.
Go ahead,
take.
go ahead. Sorry.
So this is not my boyfriend now. This is just actually I've seen it in a lot of my friends' relationships. Someone that is super quiet and reserved when they're in a friend setting or a family setting, and they just don't speak. And a lot of the friends of the family are like, "Why are they so quiet?" And they almost think that the person's like silently judging. How do you feel about that? Like, or would you rather the guy be like super talkative and almost opinionated?
I wouldn't think it was that.
Outgoing
He's
with
probably
the family?
terrified.
Yeah.
If he's coming to my family, he's probably like,
Bye.
what the
Yeah,
fuck is this shit? You people are out of your mind. He's probably just like in shock in the corner, like,
These are Italian.
my
I would
family
say
is
the
loud.
Same as far as a lot
No,
of
Yeah.
family.
But yeah, I see it a lot where like the friend brings the boyfriend around, they just sit there, and
Wow.
it's like, are they silently judging?
It's also or
Right.
disengaging. Like, do they not really care? You don't want
Right.
To
to
meet.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You have to make an effort to meet or like be like to you know the word I'm trying to say,
Engage.
like engage with someone's family.
Yeah,
You
Integrate
have to.
into their
They're just
life,
sitting
yeah.
there, it's like, I don't even know this kid, and then it's like upsetting, and then and you move on and get married. And it's like,
What happened?
I don't really know this guy. Like, I'm here. A friend of mine was actually in a bridal party, and she's like, I had 2 conversations with the groom, but it's like it was like one of her best friends, so she obviously had to be there. But like, the wedding was like their 3rd time hanging out, and they dated for like 3 years.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. I mean, again, like you want someone that's well-rounded, like not afraid to kind of like open themselves up or put themselves or make themselves vulnerable. Like, it's not a lot to ask a question like, oh, like what do you do, or like,
Right.
but to
No,
try.
it's
But sometimes like
converse.
everybody gets a little nervous, but like
course.
you have to kind of try, and like when you're just like silent, that's
You
That's
know what
a little
other
awkward.
thing is a red flag? Crazy baby mamas.
no. You know what a red flag is? A red flag is a guy that talks mad shit about their baby mama, because
That
you're
too.
not talking shit about someone that you used to have feelings about, and they birthed your child, because you didn't push anybody out of your fucking body.
True.
So what? I'm sorry, Gina. I almost like knocked her out. I'm sorry, but I just feel like if you're gonna sit here and talk shit, like, okay, it didn't work out, and she wasn't for you.
Yep.
No problem. There's no need for you to be like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch, dude, man. She's fucking no. We're not doing that. Like, I
agree.
do not believe
I
that
agree.
shit. That shit is so unattractive. And I've been in situations where I've literally seen it happen. I'm like, and it's not. It's like, it's my friend's man, like whatever. I'm like, wow, okay, like that's how he feels. That's a red flag to me.
Yeah, agreed.
And then it's also like, do you have feelings for her? Because that's a little crazy. When you drop the kids, are you sleep in the night? Stop playing games.
He might
with
like
me.
them
Get the
crazy.
fuck
I don't
outta here.
know.
Sorry.
There's something we said as far as like red flags, being in a relationship with someone, and then the way that this partner you have makes your friends feel, or does involve them or doesn't involve them. Any thoughts as far as that goes? Like,
How they treat others?
yeah.
Well, one thing I can tell you is how they treat wait staff, right? When you go to a restaurant and you see them being really nasty to the server or not tipping, that is,
Snapping their fingers.
oof. Oh my God, that's worse. That is,
People really snap.
Terrible.
Someone did that. Yeah.
I would literally walk away. I would literally stand up and walk away.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
But if it's the person you're in a relationship with, see, that's
Oh.
the other thing. Like we brought
That's
that
a
up.
red flag
That's
waving in
a
your
red
face.
flag. Like,
Red flag
you
is
got one
you have to have
strike,
a
you got
conversation.
to go.
Right.
So it's almost like red flag. Let's try to potentially work this out, or like it means we have to.
But at this
Can we
point,
change
if you're in a
someone's personality?
relationship, that means you've been on several dates
Yeah.
and you've seen this. This is not the first time that
Right.
you've gone to a restaurant. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody already that you know does this and it bothers you, then have a conversation. Hey, I do not like when you do that. It's really disrespectful. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if somebody was snapping their fingers at you?
Right.
How would you feel if da-da-da-da?
So can we talk about we're talking about red flags. We're talking about how they present themselves. Let's talk about why women still stay.
That's
Like
a
there
great
comes
question.
a point when like my friends are like, they're complaining. You've been there.
Yep.
There's been multiple red flags.
Yeah.
Multiple times the same one red flag has been waved in your face. Why are you still
Domestic
there?
violence.
What do you say to
The
that?
number one reason why is
Dick.
our self-esteem.
I think it's fear.
Fear.
I think it's fear.
I'm really rude. I'm really rude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Definitely not. I think
Shout
it's
out to everyone
honestly
still on.
fear.
I think it's fear.
We probably just got reported. Sorry.
Self-esteem, right? Exactly.
It's
what
what?
am I gonna
Fear?
do when
Yeah,
I
I
leave?
think people get
what
way
am I
too
gonna do?
comfortable and like having.
But what are you afraid of? So I like
Having
when people
that
say
person.
fear. Like, what are you afraid of?
like
That they're gonna hit you, or you're afraid to be by
No,
yourself?
I have friends that almost use that other person that they're in the relationship with that as like a crutch. Like, yeah, they do X, Y, and Z. I don't like this, and this. I'm gonna break up with them, whatever. But never actually get to that point because I sleep over their house, or we
Yeah.
hang out on the weekend.
You don't have your own bed?
It's like a buffer.
like,
It's like a buffer.
Like, it's like, or if they do live together or whatever, it's comfortable, it's easier. Like, you even see it in marriages when people start to, like, go out and cheat. Like, they're more just comfortable being in what they're in and fear of how their partner's going to react, or just leaving and being alone. Like,
Fear
a lot
of
of people
not
are afraid
knowing
of just being
what
alone,
life is like.
period. I know so many people that cannot physically be alone, like, ever.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible. They need to work on themselves
Yeah,
because
for sure.
you have to learn how to love yourself before you can love anyone else, right?
You know
Tina, isn't that
what?
what you said
Yeah,
last
I
week?
mean, that's how setting up my Target kiosk
Jen.
works pretty well.
Tarjay.
Target kiosk.
Tarjay is not Target anymore.
And I am grateful for, I've had a period of time where I have had that ability to have self-reflection, learn who I am, like
Yeah.
make that a focus, make that a priority. I did tend to be more accommodating, or like just wanting there to not be a problem, or like, you know, wanting to kind of fix things, or like then just kind of overlooking whatever the problems were, you know? And
Yeah.
I have lived through some relationships like that.
Yeah.
So I do
all have.
understand like trying to force things into working. Especially I feel like when you're in your 20s too, there's a lot of pressure as far as like, gotta get my life figured out. Gotta
Gotta
this
get
done.
married, gotta
know
get
my
the house,
career.
gotta have the
Yeah.
babies.
I know my picket fence. I've already picked it out. I have the part numbers. But, you know, you do come to find with time that like actually taking the time on yourself winds up being
It's
Some of
so
the best
important to
time,
be by yourself.
spent,
Yeah,
yeah.
you learn so much about yourself that you have to kind of discover that.
yeah.
And also, I forgot what I was gonna say. You were talking about something, and I was like, wait, I have to say it, and I completely forgot right now.
I was just thinking about Target versus Target.
Target.
And I think mine is just Target. I'm sorry.
I usually say Target too.
How are we time wise, Sam?
26 minutes in. 87
Okay.
minutes to go.
87.
87 minutes to go.
So
I just feel like, like, what would you be your best advice? Like, someone who's watching right now, if they're like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me. Like, I can't stand this boy. I'm here. I'm stuck in this place. You know, I am afraid to kind of make that move.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone,
yeah.
a fellow female?
Make a plan. Grab a
Right.
notebook. Make a plan. First, start saving money. If he manages your money or if he has control of your accounts, try to figure out how to get away from that, or just start cash from anywhere. If he gives you cash
Jenna's
for
like,
groceries,
run.
dude, no.
Jenna's like, pick up your shit
who
and
needs
run
help? Call me
now.
right now.
Lifetime movie.
Yes.
Like, get the out.
Make a plan.
Go back to
save
your mom's.
money,
Get out.
Talk to your best friend or somebody that you know is going to help you get out.
I was just thinking I'm calling Jen next time something goes really wrong.
Yeah. Jen, I slash his tires. What do I do?
Run, bitch. And cameras around.
Okay, so what would you say to, okay, so now on the opposite side, what would you say to females that are like, if they're talking to a guy and they are not responding fast enough, and they're like, oh, that's a red flag, A, B, and C, like they have no patience, like, or like they basically won't even give a guy a chance, and they're just miserable and single and just like in the house, like won't leave, just like, I give up, just super negative. What would you say? Because they're so used to red flag. Like, I literally have friends like this that are like so used to red flags, like the texting, like if they're texting with a guy like on Hinge and then it turns sexual, they're like, oh my God, this guy is just, I'm like, all right, so you're not fun anymore.
That's
At
someone
that
that's
point-
trying too hard.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard, and they have to, one, self-evaluate themselves, and two, like, someone like that, I always say to like a lot of my friends like that are like so eager to meet someone, I'm like, take a step back, and
my
it'll
God, yes.
probably fall in your lap when
Yes.
you least expect it, and that's majority of people that meet someone. It's like, oh my God, my friend introduced us, or whatever. It's not the person you meet on Hinge or the person you meet, you know, it's the random guy that
That you
talking
met
to
at
you.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So on the opposite side of that, I mean, it's easy for you to say you have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
It's sort of
that's
a
Like
true.
so, like
It's a
so, like so.
spectrum.
What I'm trying to say is like I find this often where people are like giving advice, like, "Honey, like you just gotta believe in yourself and like just take a second." But you've been married for 6 years, or you
Right.
have a boyfriend, or
That's
you just got
true.
engaged, or this or that. So like, how do you approach a situation when you have someone, right? And they're just like, I'm trying to find a man, and this and that, and they are trying, but they're just so tainted from past relationships. Like, what would you say to them?
They need self-healing. They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that. Like, they're not going to get to the point that she's speaking of unless they, like,
Right.
actively spend that time on their own.
Yeah, if they're just like relationship hopping, then they're just gonna have that list of red flags, and then it's just
ready to
no
go.
one's ever gonna be perfect for them, and then they're gonna end up alone.
Or they may be the red flag, and that
Right.
like self-reflection time is like when you realize that. Like, I was at a point where I was like that, and I like had experienced a little bit of the app, and I was just like done with everything and everyone. And I was like, fuck this, like I'm done. And I just stopped and just focused on myself, my own jobs, my life, did whatever. I wasn't going out, I wasn't doing anything to like meet anyone. I just did my normal thing. And I wound up meeting my boyfriend not looking for it. So like being from actively looking for it to just like whatever, like what's gonna happen is gonna happen, and that be like now at the point one of the best like healthiest relationships I've ever been in. Not looking for it is kind of like, wow, maybe these people were right, because I'd never liked hearing that, like oh, just let it happen type of thing.
Got it.
But I don't know, that's my experience.
I would say self-reflect, be patient,
Yes.
take a chill pill, go to the adult store, buy a toy,
Woo!
and chill back.
Give it up for Jen.
You don't need no
Give it
man.
up for
You don't
Jen.
need no man.
Give it up for Jen.
On that note, we're going to roll into our news segment,
Woo!
hosted, non-local news hosted by Jen. So
Hey.
let's segue.
All right. News. Okay, first one here we have
I'm sorry.
is the recall of 1 million bottles of water, the Fiji water bottles that were sold on Amazon.com.
Fiji.
That's
Fiji, yes.
right there.
So, is that Fiji?
Yeah, he's
That
gonna
looks like
pass out in
something
1 minute.
else.
That's made by Fiji, right?
Don't be disrespectful. Fiji water is street water.
He's gonna pass out in 1 minute.
Fiji water street.
So they have,
Street water.
they were recalled due to bacteria and high levels of manganese.
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 Wasn't it Martha
Manganese.
Stewart water?
What is that?
It's a mineral. Some
Oh,
some is
yeah.
healthy, but too much is not healthy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Martha Stewart water? Why is it Fiji water? I don't know why I saw-
Fiji water bottles.
That's
But that were
Amazon.
specifically sold on Amazon. Don't buy your water on Amazon. Go
There's
to the
so
grocery
many
store,
things.
lazy.
or get zero water. Shout out to zero water or fountain water. Spelled
Saying,
PHOU.
Supplements.
Oh,
Fountain water. It's
Toxic.
a
And beauty
pH.
products.
yeah. Yeah.
Just don't get
Definitely.
vitamins.
Stop buying.
Honestly,
Put in your body on
honestly, you know what?
Yeah.
Just don't even drink water. Fuck it.
No, drink water.
water's
Just
great.
don't buy it
All
on
bad.
Amazon.
Street water.
All right, next up is the big news. I'm sure everyone's heard it, or maybe you don't care. Donald J. Trump was convicted Thursday
Damn.
on 34 counts for falsifying a business records. I thought it was a whole sex scandal thing.
He literally paid for prostitution.
Yes,
I
he
don't know
did.
what's
But why? Like, I know.
Good for
Like,
him.
we knew when Stormy came out with that. We're like, yeah, definitely that she looks like his type. White trash.
She looks like his type. I just said.
Did you just say white trash?
Yes, I did. This is what she looks like.
Her name is Stormy.
She's a beautiful woman.
Fake ass.
She looks great.
He was
knew that name was so
overvaluing and
popular?
undervaluing his businesses. So if he would buy property, he would say, okay, this bottle of Snapple is worth $200,000, but when he was filing taxes, we know that the bottle of Snapple is actually worth $5. That's why he got convicted.
I got excited
I
about
thought-
Stormy.
I thought it was making up fake documents about.
Right, that's what it is.
Oh,
So-
that not about.
No,
like,
not about Stormy.
prostituting or
That's how
whatever?
much I care about Donald J. Trump. Fake
She
news.
doesn't care.
Anyways, the third one is about this white journalist who disguised himself as a black man to write about it and how he was discriminated.
Who did his makeup? That's so crazy. Who did he
So
hire
I
for
read
that?
this article
Canadian.
and it said they don't know like how he
Yeah.
did this.
They're like
There's no
annotate-
specification of like how he did it.
So he's
young
weirdo.
too. Like we have no idea. Did he just paint his face black or what?
Do we
He
know
went
him?
around telling people he loved watermelon and chicken.
I mean,
Get
my
Go
thought
back
on this
behind the
one, though,
computer.
is like if he's a journalist, couldn't he just talk?
That's why people are upset because
Right.
they, instead of him coming to people to ask them about their experiences,
Yes.
no, he decided to color himself and
Right.
go out for himself to
Jen said,
experience
color
it.
himself. I'm
He
dead
did
on the
color
floor.
himself.
Did you hear that? That was crazy.
I don't know. Kind of reminds me of do you remember that show What Would You Do?
Oh my God.
So like they would sometimes send in like a white kid, and then they would do the segment, see how people reacted, and then sometimes they would send in a black kid and see how people reacted, and people would react differently to it and approach the situation differently. So I
Racism.
get.
Yeah, but they didn't put makeup on the
That's
white kid.
true. Yeah. That's
But
right.
anyway.
He approached it differently, but I get what
Yeah.
he's trying to do with it.
I get it too, but for him to
Not the
disguise
makeup.
himself
Not the
to write a book to document how racism persists in America.
He could have asked a friend.
I love
Yeah,
it.
and then he goes to Twitter, and
Love
the
it.
book is called Seven Shoulders, and he puts on Twitter his book, I'm not going to say the name, was one of the hardest things I've done as a journalist.
Jesus.
So him acting like a black person was the hardest thing that he's ever done in his life.
So we have Daniel Hinton. He said there was a book written in back in the day called Black Like Me. A man did the exact same thing.
Okay.
There was a movie back in the 80s about a guy getting into college the same way. Daniel, thank you for listening. Excellent.
That's
We appreciate
Hubby,
your
guys.
feedback. I love. Excellent, baby. We love you. Thanks, sugar.
Once he got into college, does that mean he would have to always, for the next 4 years, be in blackface?
Who, this journalist?
I-
Oh, the
was
Waking
movie?
up at 5 a.m.
You know what? I'm gonna get the book. I'm gonna read up on this. I'm gonna read up on this.
All right, here's the fourth one on news. Do not lie on your resume, people, because you're going to get found out like Jessica Bader, former James H. Vernon School principal, which just pleaded guilty in connection with falsifying job applications. She was a former principal of the Vernon School. And yeah, she wrote no on some of the questions that were asked on the application.
So she's stupid. Awesome.
So no, but it was yes.
Correct.
Okay.
One
like,
of
have
the-
you been convicted of a felony, for instance?
Right.
Yeah.
One
yeah.
was if she had ever been, has she ever resigned from a position as an alternate or what? As an alternative to charges or termination. And then the other one was
If her license has ever gotten revoked.
professional certificate had ever been suspended by a government agency, and she wrote no on both, and they both were true. She was fired because she was caught kissing an 18-year-old student.
Why do these? You know, I'm hearing
up
this
with these
more and more. These like
teachers?
older teachers like going with these like young kids.
I know,
That's
they're absolutely
disgusting.
crazy. And then her certificate was suspended for 4 years in 2007. And she said she wrote no because one of her friends told her to write no.
Silly.
She's blaming it on the friends.
Wow, she
Bad
doesn't
friend,
even
no.
own her
Yeah.
lies.
So don't lie on your resume, people.
You'll get found out in this day and age.
So she's dumb. Excellent.
Yep. She has no more teaching career. She's done. Like, absolutely done.
I guess she was just making sure she was done. 'Cause
Yeah,
really,
maybe
was
she wanted to
kinda
go out with
done
a bang.
Should have
5,
been
10
done
years
on that
ago.
first go where she kissed a student.
Pretty much.
Right. Yes.
Tina, what do you have for us?
He was 18.
He was 18, but still.
So yes. I was trying to think
That
if I have
is
anything about
disgusting.
lying. It's good to tell the truth. As far as our Long Island news, woo, Long
I'm
Island.
excited.
The pulse of Long Island. It's right here. Turtles. Yes, Long Island is experiencing a surge in the accidental death of turtles.
God.
I know. According to the Jamesport-based Turtle Rescue of the Hamptons, okay? Last week, 36 turtles gone. Yes. 36. They were found dead or they had to be euthanized because of these traumatic injuries.
Oh my God.
Now, so it's a few factors. They're on the move this time of year, but then people are also driving too fast. and then they're hitting them with weed whackers and equipment, lawn mowing, what have you. So
This
Yes.
is terrible.
That's sad.
So
This is in Southwest.
This is in the North Fork, Jamesport. This torticular homicide is likely far worse. But,
Are you laughing?
No, it's funny.
Many,
Testicular.
that's
what I heard. I'm sorry.
there are many more injuries and fatalities that just aren't being reported. So let's be clear about that. Now, cricket
That's so sad.
also never knew. Long
Oh,
Island
yeah.
just hosted the first ever Cricket World Cup match in the U.S. No other matches elsewhere. Long Island
The traffic
first.
was
was like, wait, what about cricket?
annoying.
Insane.
Annoying on Hemster Bike.
Yeah.
I was right over there.
So it was Eisenhower Park in East Meadow. 55 matches to the tournament, but
Wow.
only 8 of them will be played in New York.
Wow,
And,
that's a lot.
I want to let you know, the entire audience, for the most part, majority, like over 85%, were all Indian.
Right.
Really?
All
Yeah.
Indian.
A lot are like royalty.
All Indian.
Like
yeah.
it's big people going. To
And
this.
did you go specifically to find a husband?
You
Over
can't
there?
even get in.
You're
We can't
bugging
go.
the fuck out.
You can't even get in.
No.
There. I've heard.
Dude, wait in the
No.
parking lot.
Wait
Go
for a
to where
prince.
the Lamborghini is parked and pretend
sit
like
there?
you're tying your shoelaces and slowly get up. Oh, excuse me.
She's
sorry.
bending and
Yeah.
snapping next to the Lamborghini.
That's a great idea. You know what? I want to let you know, I was driving down the street. This traffic was incredible. It's really annoying, actually.
And it will only get worse because
Yeah.
this Sunday will be 34,000 fans are expected to come for the big India-Pakistan game. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all going to culminate in the 2 premier matches, India versus Pakistan, which is like the Super Bowl on steroids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
All on Long Island. Pointing out the obvious.
Roger's gonna be there on Sunday, by the way.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
Everyone who's anyone is going to be there on Sunday, including
Raj,
in the
our
parking lot.
last host from last week.
Oh, good for him. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, he was sweet.
Yeah.
Then I have two other stories that relate to the U.S. Postal Service.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, Long Island letter carriers were attacked by dogs 65 times last year. More than all of New York City combined and equal to the number in top-ranked Los Angeles. So you could go Los Angeles, Long Island, as
Oh,
far as
God.
how severe this is. And Suffolk County, they were attacked by dogs 34 times in 2023. The 5 boroughs have nearly triple Long Island's population, reported 50 dog attacks.
So
And
Long
then-
Island is worse.
Yeah, so Suffolk County only ties Philadelphia for the number of dog attacks.
Dang,
know.
Suffolk, put your dogs away.
Thank you. Put them on a leash. Be kind.
631
Nobody's
is-
trying to
leashes
bring
their
us
dogs
mail.
anymore.
631.
That's terrible.
631
If
is
you can't
whack,
train your
dude.
dog, you shouldn't let them off leash.
Yeah, they're horrible.
I believe all
Anyone out
all
east?
dog
Trash.
owners should train
No.
their
Just
dogs,
kidding.
right?
No.
Everyone but
Yeah.
Tina.
I think it should be mandatory
What?
The leash.
to train your dog.
Yes. We also need to train our postal workers because apparently a Long Island postal worker who was working in the Huntington Station Processing Center, he's facing charges for allegedly stealing mail.
What?
You're not allowed to
Stealing
do that.
mail.
What kind of mail?
And his tactic was actually to stuff envelopes in his pants. It was that involved. So there are pictures circulating of this
package in his
gentleman
package.
stuffing.
You literally can't do that. You
Well,
can't steal someone's mail. It's
Not
literally
only
a felony.
There's
What was in
pictures
the
It's a fucking
mail?
felony.
I mean,
It's a felony. Like, you can't.
Hello.
Why are you taking my mail? Give me my Christmas card. Like, what's wrong with you?
again, he should have. His job was over some time ago, and he's still stuffing his pants.
They don't understand.
That's where Ashley's paycheck went.
And that's all for Long Island right now.
All right. Did you guys see
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's
the
very
one about
upsetting.
the dad jumping Wisconsin? It happened in Wisconsin. The daughter was walking to get her diploma during graduation.
Oh my God! And,
And
the dad came out of nowhere
To grab
and
the
blocked
superintendent.
his daughter from shaking the
Superintendent.
superintendent because
Because he was black.
Because he was black.
Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they're saying. I read another article because I was like, this cannot be. This cannot be. So I started
Right.
reading more up on it, and they were saying it was because dad didn't like the way the superintendent dealt with the daughter's bullying during the 4 years of high school. And fine, I understand that, but during her graduation, while she's walking to get her diploma, is
gonna
not
get
the right
bullied
time.
for that.
Not her. Did you watch the video? You watched. She was literally standing there like this, watching
like-
her dad be
She
annoying.
was so embarrassed.
But
she
then
went like
she had
this.
two cops. Then the two cops came and got him. Thank God.
He made it worse.
Embarrassing.
For her.
It's horrible.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
she's gonna get bullied for being all over the news.
Yeah, because it's literally going viral.
Bullying
Yeah.
will never end. Maybe this is part of why she got bullied, because she was
'Cause of
bullied
her-
growing up by her own father.
Silly father.
Horrible.
Caught my word there.
Her
Thanks,
silly,
Tina.
her silly father.
Silly
Silly
rabbit.
father.
So let's get back to our initial topic as we started off today in red flags.
Yeah, can you guys write your red flags in the comments, please? I want to see all the different red flags that you guys have.
Jen said, "Write your red flags
I'm
down."
wondering maybe if Daniel has some red flags.
Yeah, Daniel, do you have a red flag?
I mean,
Joshua called me toxic, by the way. Yeah, he did.
Being toxic, that's why. But one of the questions I did have on there was, what about things like a person's like credit score and things like that? Is that something that you guys even ask about? Do you check for it? And if so, so why or why not?
so the question is credit score an issue?
Yeah, does
Do
that
we
matter?
consider that a red flag?
No.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry about that. I feel like there may or may not be a story. Like you don't know. You can't judge someone's like if they're doing
By a
good, they're
number.
driving a good car, a nice car, they have a great job. You can't be like, okay, well your credit score is this, so that means you're whatever. Something might have happened. Something might have happened. They might have been in the hospital. They had to pay for something. They had a crazy toxic ex-boyfriend that took their credit card and used their shit,
Went all
and they
out,
couldn't.
yes.
I've seen a lot of that happen, actually. So I don't know. Credits, as long as you're doing good right now, we can fix whatever has happened in the past.
Right, we can fix it, exactly.
How to avoid red flags is being presented to us.
How to avoid red flags? That's a good question.
If you, the minute you feel it, the minute you feel it in your gut, walk away. The minute you feel like, don't
Bring
give
it
someone
up.
the benefit of the doubt. Say,
Yeah.
all right, this is really just
Bring
not
it
for
up,
me.
yes. Bring it up immediately. Something that I do is when Daniel does something that really bothers me,
Ooh.
I have to say
Looks
it,
like
because
Daniel's
if I don't,
typing
I
the
keep it
comments.
inside,
Yeah.
and then it gets
argument?
worse.
No.
And then, what?
Daniel wrote, "You're sleeping on." I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're
I'm sleeping on the couch.
tonight.
Okay, he'll just follow me there. It's okay.
Aw.
Follow me on social media. Follow me to the couch.
Yeah.
Thanks, honey.
How to
Yeah,
avoid red flags.
immediately talk about it.
Yeah. And after the talking, there has to be action. If there is no action,
Yes.
then you know that they are just going to repeat that pattern, and that is your red flag moment to say, all right, either I'm going to stay and deal with this, or I'm going to walk away.
Yep.
It's very simple.
Don't get too many people involved. Like, not everyone needs to know your business, and you don't need, because if you talk about your problems with so many people, you're getting so many different opinions, and you're just swamped. And then you're like, well, now what do I do? And then you're gonna piss someone off in the end. Like, well, why didn't you end it with him? Well, why didn't you do this? And just figure it out yourself, and
Yes.
like,
We see
share,
it. We
and
see it.
subscribe.
Yes, Dad. Please.
What about you, Ashley? How to avoid red flags?
I think really just being able to know what you consider a red flag, like knowing what you will tolerate and what you won't, and if that is crossed, knowing when to leave, or just if you're repeating it or whatever, just being able to put your foot down and move on.
Yeah, having strict boundaries.
Yeah.
Tina, how to avoid red flags?
Well, so if we're saying that red flags relate to what your fears are, then on some level you have to work through whatever those fears are to be able to ask the difficult questions that we're talking about.
Daniel said I would follow.
Yeah,
to
he
the
said I would
couch.
follow. Oh my
Oh, thank you, Daniel.
Good one.
How to avoid red flags? How do you address your red flags?
I mean, it's simple. Really, if someone's really not matching your energy, if it's like a conversation, like they're talking all about themselves, they never ask you a question, like that's a red flag. Like that's someone that is all about themselves. Like you have to just start like recognizing how people are treating you. Sometimes I feel like as females we're just like, he's so cute. Oh my god.
Dreamy.
Look at the car he drives. No, dude.
God.
Like
I
nobody
think he might-
cares. Like nobody cares. Joshua, stay over there. Nobody
Take the
cares.
picture.
Like nobody cares.
McLaren.
Oh my god. Like no one cares. Like actually no one. I would actually key someone's car. Like I don't care. The issue is that you are so about like so about the external, and you're really like an internal or deep person. It's just never gonna. It's not gonna last regardless.
That's true.
Oh
You
my
need
god.
to know yourself and then what you're looking for too. Like, I would say also as far as red flags, you know, what you're looking for is something pretty specific, most likely, right? So like, there's a lot of not right that's coming your way. Don't take it personally. Don't try to force it into working.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, just go for whatever you is. And
Because you
You're not Superwoman,
you
don't
wasting
change something.
time.
yeah,
Can't
you
change
never
something.
change.
But if
Yeah,
you're you
never.
sit there and you waste time, like you could be spending that time on meeting someone else. So it's like
That's
just the
true.
minute you feel it, listen to your gut, just bounce, and it'll be okay.
Don't be a pick me either.
Oh.
Don't be that easy. Oh,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
easy
yeah, yeah.
going. I hang out with the boys.
I do this, I
Just
do
a-
that.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Never.
Because that's how you get ran over. That's how men just take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cool. She's this. She's that.
Yeah.
She's gonna just go along with it. Yeah. Okay. What were you gonna say? You gonna say something?
Why do I hear
I
why do I
feel
hear the
like,
board?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I hear the board? What?
A lot of bashing.
Perfect.
Well, maybe you need bashing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So maybe we should ask
This has-
what well no, then that's green flags. We're not talking about green flags, we're talking about red flags.
Yeah. We
the
have
negative.
to bash today, Joshua.
We got
It's
the
not
negative
bashing,
out.
it's like giving people a heads up. I mean, I would gladly, like, what I didn't know in my 20s and 30s, like, if I can share that with anyone so they don't have to go through the same shit, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
You know? It's not bashing. It's just that you see things sometimes, then you don't see the full picture, then eventually you see it and you're like, oh man. Oh my god.
Don't be
I
like
should've seen
jaded.
that."
Like don't be like
should've
like
seen
just so like
No.
clear the fog. Like what's behind there? Like who
Yes.
are they?
Clear the fog. I really
Don't
like
don't
that.
believe that. Like I'm just saying, like it's such a real thing. Like clear that shit out.
Yes, yes.
Sure, like
Yes.
seriously,
Like Mary
because
Poppins. She's just sweep them through.
yeah.
So, well,
How much long do we have, guys? We're running on 8 minutes. Oh gosh,
7 minutes, 32 minutes.
32 minutes. Grow together. Yes, that's the best way to have a successful relationship is growing together. You start from the bottom and you grow your way to the top.
So how do you grow together when there's red flags in a relationship though?
You leave.
Okay, but what kind of red flags?
no.
I'm
You
joking,
don't
guys.
know.
All right, guys. All
Joshua,
right.
it depends what kind of red flags, right? It depends on you and what you need in your relationship. I need someone to protect me. I need one to communicate with me.
Oh, I love it.
Drinker.
Drinking. That's a great.
That is.
Is that a red flag?
Yes.
That's a red flag. Well, the amount of alcohol, right? If you drink,
That was me at the
Once
wedding
in a
this year.
while.
That's crazy.
No.
that's okay. Socially, okay, let's
What's
go
wrong
out for a
with
drink.
yeah? Like what's wrong with socially? We can't have like
Exactly,
a glass of
that's
wine.
fine. But if you're having a bottle of
Daily
wine,
wine.
did I say a bottle of wine?
yeah.
Or beers or whatever.
A bottle
Well, I
of
know what you mean.
vodka.
Choices.
A bottle of vodka every 2 days.
So what
You
you're
have to go
saying
to
is
the
if
liquor
someone
store.
drinks consistently every day, that's a red
That's
flag.
the problem.
Yeah, I
You're an
think so.
alcohol.
That's the problem. They
Alcoholic.
belong in
I was trying to
AA.
stop myself.
No, red flag is someone that is aggressive that gets aggressive at the bar with other people, and you're like,
Wow.
stop, because that's
Causing a
awful.
scene. Number one rule: don't cause a scene.
That's not.
And they're gonna eventually get aggressive
embarrassing.
with you when they get
Correct.
home, and that's
Correct.
why it's a red flag. When you're with an alcoholic,
Yeah.
you don't know what to
No.
expect. They're just like this.
Okay, but drinking socially is okay on the side.
Yeah,
on the
of
weekend. I'm just
course.
making sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it's true.
just
The
making
drinking's
sure
truth
I'm not.
serum. Encourage the drinking.
Yeah, right? No, you want to go out on a date with your
And have a glass of wine or two.
exactly.
All right.
Have a
I didn't
bottle
know if it
of
was a
wine
crime.
and then go home and make out. But if you're having a bottle of wine every day and you need to,
No, that's crazy. That's
like
crazy.
that's a bit crazy.
Excuse me, no side conversations?
Yeah, I would say that like throwing side conversations.
Yeah,
are
do you guys have
actually a
something to
red
share?
Flag.
The two
Needing
other
to
males?
have all
It's
the
rude.
attention,
You're welcome to
massive
the topic,
red
right?
flag. Needing to be the center of attention, also a red flag.
Definitely.
Boom.
I have a question.
Let's keep adding to the list.
Is vanity a red flag?
Question is, vanity,
In
is
a
that a
man?
red flag?
What-
In what way? Yeah?
For men, some again.
To what
be
degree?
amputated to the world. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, God.
super, male, and they're super, like into themselves and things like that. Though, is that something that you guys?
It depends
Yeah,
what you're looking for in a partner.
That's a preference thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
don't know if
preference
that's so
thing,
much a
right?
red flag. It's just like an ick.
Ah.
It's just like ew.
Okay.
I wouldn't even entertain you.
I think
it's
it
not even a
depends on
red
the
flag.
person,
It's
too.
just
Yeah.
like ew. Like I don't.
It,
I
well, it
wouldn't
depends on how they.
associate myself
Wait,
with
but
those
it
type of
depends on how they
persons.
do it. Like if they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're in the car with them and they're just like getting ready to fucking drive, like that's weird. Like, all right, dude, chill.
Depends on the car,
We're in a
clearly.
world today where social media is a big deal. So you have those guys that are also like, okay, they want you to look Instagram ready because they're Instagram ready, so they're putting you together, putting themselves together.
So we're speaking about
It goes-
couples that are
it's
both
one of
Instagram
vanity.
ready. I'm speaking
But
for you
you
because
know
you're not
what?
on the microphone.
I mean,
so
okay.
I'm repeating what you're saying.
So
It depends too, right? Because you want to look beautiful for your partner. I
Right.
love putting red lipstick on for Daniel.
Right.
Yeah, but if he has to do that for social media to post you,
Then that- no.
Like my green flag right now is that my boyfriend has no social media.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Wait. I have a question. Is it a red? I have two questions actually because I want to touch on something you said. Is it a red flag if a guy never posts you on social media?
Does he have social media?
Yeah, like he has
Depends how
Instagram.
active.
It's like
So then
whatever.
yes, because what are you hiding?
I guess, but
No,
like,
he's
all right.
hiding you.
Depends
He's
how
hiding
active
you.
they are.
If
Like
he's
some
some
Right.
of you,
necessarily.
Some
if
guys,
he's been in a long relationship with you, you've been together for let's say a year, and you're still not on his profile picture,
That's different.
That's
Yeah,
different.
that's different.
No, I'm
If
curious
you're
about,
there,
yeah,
if
I'm
you're there,
curious
it's
about
fine.
like
if you're there.
being younger and like building profiles, feeling that's important versus not feeling that that's important. Do you
I don't know.
think
I have to
that's
disagree with you, Jen. I feel like I know a few successful relationships, and no one's posting anybody on it on
that's
social
terrible.
media.
That means when
No.
he
Like
goes-
they're engaged. They live in
Yeah.
the same house. Everyone's got a passcode. Blah blah. Like they're chilling. They're just not into like the social media blah blah blah.
do they post pictures of
I have a
themselves?
business. I don't know if I'm posting my personal life on my page.
Okay,
I don't
that's
think I would ever
different.
do that actually.
Yeah,
so
that's different.
that's
done?
that's where
2
I'm
minutes.
I'm aiming at.
Yeah, that's different. That's your
You were talking about
business.
you were talking about crazy baby moms before. I know a lot of females that are like if they have kids, I'm not dating them.
Really.
What are your thoughts on that? On a guy
No,
having kids, that's
I
a red
think
flag.
That shouldn't be a red flag.
No, I don't
you
think
know,
so
like
either.
Depends
being
on
a stepmom is being a stepmom. You got to support your
I
partner.
couldn't agree. I'm just saying, like I know that for a
Yeah.
fact. Like some
Well,
people are
that's-
like,
that's
nah, they have
being
kids.
a
That's a red
little-
flag. Kids, you're being
5 kids.
Five kids.
5 kids.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
What is
If
that?
you know what,
YBM?
if the
kids,
mom,
baby mothers, I'm saying.
if the
Oh.
Excessive.
Oh, excessive.
it depends how baby mama is. If baby mama is willing to work with me in
Yeah.
co-parenting, hey, can I pick up the kids instead of my husband? Or can you drop them off? I can't today. Or she calls me, hey, can you pick up the kids from school? I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter how many baby mamas. But now if that baby mama goes to the kids and say, do not talk to her, do not mess with her.
Act however you
she's
want, be
evil.
bad. Yeah.
Nickname.
Mhm,
and,
evil
yeah.
stepmom, and the
Brainwash.
kids come to you and they're like, yo, my mama don't like you. Then that's a problem. Then that's a red flag, and I'll be like, okay, bye.
Oh my god.
This is like a Country Wayne. Country Wayne has this going on, and apparently they all get along, all the baby mamas, because he takes care of everyone.
That's great.
So yeah,
Wow.
Good. That's how it should be. Yes.
there's got to
Wow.
be something where, yeah, they have agreements.
What's this guy's name? Who is this guy?
Country
Comedian.
Wayne. Yeah.
Oh,
he's
really?
funny.
Why are you yelling at
He's
me?
black. You should know.
What the white girl knew.
What does that mean?
Wow.
I'm not into comedy
Grace
like that.
Schmace, ladies
Yo,
and gentlemen.
what the? And this shit's like a leaf, please. I gotta go.
I've heard his
we gotta
name
go.
on here before.
All right, we got
To
three.
wrap it
Gotta go.
up, we thank you all for joining us today. Please like us, share, subscribe, come back. There'll be more.
Yes.
And thanks to our guests. And
Thank you.
Thanks for
enjoy. Be blessed.
Tune in next week. It'll be way
Tune
better.
in, subscribe, like, comment.
Guys will be on the show.